What is going on, everyone? Let me get us live over here. I'm here with Ethan, and Evan is popping on in just a second. We're here for our weekly live. What is going on? Let me get everybody in here. Give me one sec. I'm going to move this over. Ethan, what's up, dude? I like the new camera setup. It's crispy.
Appreciate it. Yeah, moved it to the middle versus the side.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I got to move mine over at some point. But if you're just tuning in, guys, we're going over how to grow your video business, how to get more leads, how to get a retainer-based offer in place, and we're answering any and all questions you have. You see me looking over here. We're on Instagram Live. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube over here. So we'll kind of start discussing. If you guys have any questions around scaling your video business, getting more leads, getting more clients, like we'll start to take those. Just drop them in the comments down below, and we'll start answering those for you. But Ethan, what's going on, dude? What's the kind of prevalent theme you're seeing this week with people? Maybe we talk about mindset a little bit more, since we've talked really tactical the past couple of lives. And yeah, I just think, like, what are some of the mindsets holding people back? Why do you think people sometimes don't take action? Why do you think they repeat maybe the same year over and over and over again in their business?
I mean, I know last night we talked a little bit about like shiny object syndrome.
Yep.
That's something a lot of people deal with a lot, is new fancy things, or even just mindset around like sales too.
I want to double click on shiny object for a second, because I was talking to one of our clients, Brandon, and I love Brandon. He's awesome. You probably see him. If you've seen any of my ads, you've seen Brandon. He went from 0 to 34K a month. He is beard, redhead, Brandon. And one of the biggest things that, like, he's crushing it right now. Like, I think he had like a 40K day the other day. But one of the things that he was kind of thinking of, he's like, hey, I want to launch a low ticket product now, or I want to sell like this like $47 thing. And I talked to him. I was like, dude, it's a horrible idea. Don't do that. And I think, like, the only reason he wanted to do that is because he thought he should add more to the business as opposed to just doing more of the thing that already got him the result. And I think a lot of people get stuck there because they want to do something new. And like in the beginning, you have to do something different. So if you're relying on word of mouth referrals, you're relying on lead generation systems that don't actually work that well, then yes, you have to do something different. But as you start to get higher up, it's hard because you were rewarded for that behavior initially. You did something new and you got a result. But as you get higher up, you just usually have to do more of the same thing to get higher levels, and then you have to do it better. And so, like, Hormozi has the whole saying, it's like more, better, new, right? And I'm a big subscriber to that, where it's like you have to do more. Some like when you're starting, I actually think you have to do something new, something different than what you're doing. But then once you figure out a thing that's working, you usually have to do more of it, and then you have to do it better. And so that means like working your leads better, right? Getting better follow-up systems in place, having better sales calls, getting better at sales calls, getting better at closing deals, right? Like, something new is not always the answer. And like switching and changing and doing new things all the time really puts people in a place where, like, and creatives, I love you guys, but you guys do this all the time, where like you do something and you're like, I want something exciting in my life. And then you go do something different, when that is the complete opposite of what happens when it comes to success.
Yep. You don't want to go from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to go all the way back to 0.
And that's what I think a lot of people struggle with sometimes, is because they're literally like changing their strategy every 5 seconds. And Evan, we were talking about this on our meeting with, I'm not going to say who we were talking about, obviously, but there's someone we know or know of who changes their strategy every month or every 2 months. And they change the business, they change the model, they change all the things and systems they're doing inside of it. And oftentimes you just have to do more of the same thing once you find the thing that's working. Now, for people who are just like banging their head against the wall and not getting leads and not getting sales, you probably need to do something different.
Right.
Once you figure out that thing that is working, then you just simply need to do more of it most of the time.
Yep.
I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
No, I mean, I totally agree. I think there's a weird fine line that I've learned over doing this for the last several years of like waiting it out because it's like that's what you need to do, but also like knowing when, like, hey, it's not working.
Yeah.
Right. And knowing what to tweak. It might be a whole overhaul, like you were saying. Maybe it's just a small cog that needs to be changed out.
Yep.
And identifying what that piece is. Most of the time it's a small thing. I think we want to always think it's like this big changeover that needs to happen, but I think the big changeovers, at least for me, have only come when it's kind of like I always give this example to people. It's like when you used to get a job and they ask you in the interview, like, do you think you could see yourself as a fit here or whatever? And it's like, I don't really know. I haven't tried yet. Right. Like the answer is always, well, yeah, of course, I need a job. Right. But
Yep.
then you get into it and it's like, I don't really like it. It wasn't really what I thought it was, or, this, that, or the other. Now, assuming that you're not saying that to yourself just because it's hard, right? That's different. But I could choose a niche and like just figure out by like providing that service for a couple of people in that niche that like I just don't like working with that niche for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Right. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that if it's because I don't like doing it.
Yeah.
It wasn't because I couldn't make it work. It was just I didn't like servicing those type of people. That's different than just like, oh, it's hard and
Yeah.
changing.
Or like when you're getting, because I was talking about Brandon in the voice note I sent him in Slack yesterday. He's like, should I do a low ticket? And I knew you chimed in. You're like, yeah, you could do this. And I'm like, Brandon, no, shut up. We're not doing that. We're not doing it. Like what you're doing has gotten you to 40K a month. Like, why don't we just double that? Why don't we just do more? Why don't we just get more leads the same way that you're getting them right now? Why don't we just take more sales calls? Why don't we just increase the price? It's like, I think it's just a different, like, it's interesting because new levels, new devils, right?
Sure.
And so like for the people who are trying to get to the first 10K a month, you probably need to do something different than what you're doing right now. Right. But the problem is you get rewarded for it and you think you need to keep doing that, but that's not what gets you from 10 to 100K a month. It's different. So in the beginning you work, I posted this on my Instagram the other day, but it's like in the beginning, you work super hard to get to your first like 10K a month, 100K a year. And then to get to your first 100K a month, you can't you can kind of brute force it, but you need to find some people around you who can like take over some of the things for you to help you because you physically can't do all the work yourself.
Right.
And then to get from like, to multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, I'm not at $1 million a month, so I can't tell you that obviously, but to get to multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, you need a team of A players, not just people. You need a team of people who actually know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what you need. So like, because a lot of times, like, yes, you can delegate stuff to people, but if they do a shitty job, then like it's probably not going to get done as well. And it's going to hurt the quality of the service and it's going to be harder to grow. Right.
Totally.
Yep.
So like, there's just different things. It's like, yeah, like working, like it's just people who are like, I work harder than everyone else. It's like, cool, but that doesn't really matter. Like you have to work smart and hard. Like you have to know how to build a good team and work through those people. And that's like when I was first growing, like one of my biggest struggles is like, how do I work through people? And I still probably struggle with it today, but like, how do I work through people to get them to do things for me at 80% of the efficiency that I do it at?
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, that's the challenge. And it's like, you can't just like brute force work your way to $1 million a year. Like you have to like hire good people, and that's a different skill, and that's what a lot of people sometimes struggle with is like not having that skill. So, but all that to say, I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about mindset because we always talk about like the kind of tactical side of it, and the tactics are easy, but if you don't understand the mindset, like you're not going to use them. And I've seen that time and time again. I give people the tactics, but if they don't have the right mindset around it, they don't use them correctly. Right.
Yeah.
And I think the main tactics are just like, you have to be somewhat obsessed with like trying to be the best. Right.
True.
Because like this business owner thing is not for everybody. And for some creatives, like we talk to some people who are like, I just want to be a creative, dude. I just want to film some stuff, work for somebody else and do my thing. And that's totally cool. But like, if you want to run a business, you have to be prepared to kind of like endure some pain and like do the things you don't always want to do, like marketing and sales and fulfillment, right? You can't just do the fun stuff like edit all day. And some people want to do that, and that's cool. It's just that's not the point of entrepreneur. Like that's not how it works. Like if you want to be an entrepreneur, typically you want to solve really complex problems and you want to get really good at solving different things. Like that, at least that's why I like to do it.
Yeah.
So, let's answer a couple of tactical questions, then we'll get back into it. So how do I get more leads for local service businesses? I do photos and video. I'm new in the game and I'm stuck with what details and how to find the value for the customer to be in a retainer or how that would even look. Evan, you want to talk about that one?
First, write out a list.
And he's stuck at 6K a month. I figured that might be helpful.
So in terms of value, create a list of problems that the things that you know how to make and do, solve. Start there. When you can identify what those problems are, then you can start to package those assets and those things in a way that um, that begin to explain how you solve those problems. So if you can't explain to the buyer how they work together to solve said problem, then they won't see any value in it anyway, and they won't buy it. So I think starting there with that list of problems
What would be an
is
example
what.
of a problem, maybe?
So problem is, so there's that's a very loaded spectrum question, but let's say lead generation. You can make video ads for them, whether or not you help with the
So
implementation.
not getting enough leads would be
Yeah,
a problem.
not
that the
getting enough
business is
leads.
suffering from.
Not getting enough conversions on a website. If they already drive traffic to a website, and you can, put video components there or photo components that help push people over that goal line to submitting the form or signing up for the thing or whatever it might be. I think showing up consistently on social media. I mean, whether or not, however you look at content, and everybody has their own, I guess, perspective on it, right? However you look at it, I mean, and I'll give you my reflection on it. It should be looked at, especially for local service businesses. It's nurture more than it is selling, right? That's at least the mindset that I've adopted towards it. A lot of people, everybody I speak to has a different adaptation, and that's cool too, right? But I look at it as nurture, and you're just going to have to. I'm getting feedback on my
I
end.
don't know why I'm getting feedback. Is that on your end or?
I can hear it on everybody.
Huh. There we go.
Maybe. Okay, it
good
went
now.
away. So nurture. I see the question there. Nurture, meaning if somebody discovers you through an ad or through searching you out on the internet, whatever it might be, they go and they do their research. They will see content that you have created for the client, and then that pushes that prospective client over the goal line to take the next action from there.
Yeah, it's like you have top of funnel. You have somebody who comes to a business and sees the business. Like nurture content could be social media reels. It could be testimonial videos. It could be a brand film that's on the website. It could be any of those things. He said, and this is the person asking. He says, "Well, I've never sold a video retainer. I've only sold social media managing, which we're very good at." Well, I mean, that innately is a very sticky thing that you can very easily turn into a retainer. So my thing would be like, charge $5K a month, give them a certain amount of social reels every single month, make maybe a client testimonial video in there as well, and then manage their social media on top of that for $5K a month, right? So he says, okay, so you're saying show them the proof of what we could do. Yeah. Well, the client is not buying your video. They're buying what your video does, right? So if I had to ask you, why would I pay for social media managing? What does that do for my business? And if you want to type in the comments, like answer that, but like, what does that actually do? Like, what is the point of it? Because they're not buying video. You're not buying a plane ride. You're buying a trip to a destination, right? You're selling the destination and the vacation. You're not selling the plane ride to get there, is what we always say, right? So like, sell them. What does that do? Well, it increases your views. It increases your leads. It increases the amount of calls that could be booking on your calendar. It increases the likelihood of when someone books on your calendar that they end up turning into an actual customer because they're nurtured through that content. Like, you're selling them more leads and more clients. You're not selling them social media. And so you have to ask questions around those problems to get them to actually understand what is the cost of leaving this problem unsolved if they don't have your service, right? And how can we expand that cost to be as big as possible to where, let's say, by not having social media content, they're potentially losing millions of dollars a year for their business. Well, are they going to pay $5,000 a month to potentially make millions of dollars a year additionally in the business? Yes.
Likely, yes.
Right. But that's where you have to get on these sales calls. Because if you do not get there on the sales calls, it's always going to be, it's too expensive, or we don't see the value, or whatever it may be, because you're not actually selling the transformation.
Yeah.
You're just selling the deliverables, which is video. And that doesn't really matter that much to them. They don't care. Like, everyone can make nice video now. AI can make nice video. So like, what you're really selling is an outcome and the likelihood of that outcome occurring.
Right.
That's what you're selling. And the certainty and more case studies and proof that you have that that can happen for them, the higher you can charge and the more you
Yeah.
can charge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're paying for views, which ultimately turns into calls and sales. Exactly. So sell that. Don't sell the social media content service, and then sell them on a 3, 6, 12-month package where it's like, I'm just going to throw out numbers here because we've worked with clients on this today, but like 3 month for 15K. Let's say
I just made one this morning. You want me to shout one off?
yeah, go for it.
Okay, hold on a second. I have a 3, 6, and a 12 right
We're
here.
going to give you this
and
offer sheet right now. You just have it.
I'll give you deliverables. I'll give you everything that I wrote in it.
You want to just share your screen?
Well, it's on my iPad, but I can
Oh.
try. Hold on.
Okay. I'll answer a couple
on.
questions while you're doing that.
Hold
I'd
on.
say
Okay.
a pretty typical one
I don't
do
know
is
if it's
15,
is it gonna
27,
let me
48.
Was that
share screen.
I said
you should do it.
a pretty common price structure I come up with is 15, 27, and 48, where it's 5,000, 4,500, and 4,000.
Per month? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have 580 of these offer sheets, so you guys can take one of them. We'll be okay.
I've done
It should be the
Hold on,
present
Eric.
button. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, it's just it won't let me do my iPad. It'll only let me do tabs.
You're good. Take your
on-
time. I'm going to answer a couple questions while you're
No,
figuring that
I mean
out.
I can
So-
just. No, I'm saying it won't let me share my iPad screen.
Oh, is it online or is it just on your iPad?
It's just on my iPad. It's on my Notability app. I was just
Got
I was
it.
chicken scratching it this morning.
Can you hold it up?
I can
Okay.
I can shout it off though because they're relatively all the same.
Okay.
Just a slight variation. So it's a 3, 6, and a 12. They all include a brand film, one brand film. The 3-month has 1 client testimonial. The 6 has 3, and the 12 has 6. And then I have for the 3-month, I have 24 social media pieces, so 8 per month there. And then at 6 months, I have 60 pieces, so 10 per month. And then 12, I have 120, so 10 per month there. And then I have some like image posting that I would do, like brand stills or something like that as well. But 3, I have it at 15, 6, I have it at 21, and 12, I have it at 36.
And so repeat those prices again for us, Evan.
15 for the 3, so 5K.
And that's 5K a month. Just
Yeah.
so he thought it was
5K a month. Yep.
That's 5K a month.
Then I have the 6-month at 21K,
Which is how much per month?
which is hold on, bad math.
Divided by 6 is 3.5 a month.
Yeah, 30.5, and then I have for the full 12, it's 36, so 3K a month.
And those are even low in my
No,
opinion.
I
There's some
think so
clients
too.
doing-
I think they're relatively low. It's just kind of a jump off point, and
For
then
sure.
once it's 4 or 5 in, it's
for sure.
again, it's my 4 or 5 clients model that I go after. If I can,
For sure.
I know I can fulfill that relatively with the team around me.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, and there's people charging different amounts, but that's an example of like an offer sheet. So hopefully that helps you
Yep.
over there. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it's not 15 a month, just 5 a month. So
Yeah.
so it's a higher monthly for a shorter term commitment is basically how it works.
Correct.
So like if they're only going to commit to us for 3 months, then we're only going to do 3 months of like it's going to be higher than if they committed for a longer term.
Yep.
Brett Hammond, this is fire. What's up, dude? Enjoyed you on the coaching call yesterday. This is dope. Brett's one of our clients here. You're buying attention. Exactly. You're buying attention and what that attention can do for your business. And in my opinion, there's never been a better time to be a video business owner because if you're like, there's so many businesses that need to harness the power of social media and buying attention, but they literally don't know how, right? So like if you guys can become that strategist and know how to do that, you can make a ton of money off these guys, helping them get to their goal because you understand the strategy. Like people would kill for that. So it's huge. Any tips for showcasing ROI benefit of brand videos? Been having a hard time in my offer portraying why businesses should have them. Evan, you want to take that one?
So showcasing benefit, I guess, what you would have to do is you'd have to put it in a placement where it's going to be the most beneficial, which probably is the main page, the homepage of a website.
Yeah.
Know what the conversion rate of the website might be prior to the video being there.
Yep.
And then having it there for a minimum amount of time. You would set that time at whatever. Probably a base minimum of about 3 months is probably what I would say. But understanding what the conversion rate would be after that video living there for X amount of time, and then just looking at it black and white, left and right of it was this before and now it's this after. Now it's not just the brand film that helps the conversion. There's got to be obviously like some text language and like, hey, kind of do this next step kind of thing, to accompany it for the most part. But that's probably how you would showcase it being of a benefit in terms of an ROI, in that regard. Either that or some kind of like email campaign if it was used in that, like to a list, opt-ins from the list or book calls from the list,
Yep.
sending that video out. That would be another way that you could do it.
Yep.
But those are just two scenarios that I can think of off the top of my head.
Absolutely. And then over on Instagram, we have a question. What metrics do you pull from to create case studies, website traffic? How do you prove your content created more sales? We just ask them. So we ask the client beforehand and we say like, hey, what was, and you'd be surprised by just asking them. And we say this all the time. There's a client we had that did like $1 million. Like one of their chiropractor clients did $1 million in sales from one video they made. So you just simply ask them, be like, hey, what do you feel like was some of the biggest results you got from the content after we implemented it? And you ask them that beforehand. And if they give you like a good juicy number, like we think it made us this much money, then you simply just get on a case study with them and you interview them using the case study questions I have in my case study training on YouTube. And we give our clients that as well. But very simple. It's just like, ask them, like just ask the client, like, what did you make? And then let them tell you what they made from the video and what sort of outcomes they saw from the content you created for them. Ethan,
yeah. Cause again, going like tracking that in and of itself should be somewhat part of an offer.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to track everything in some way, shape, or form and
Yep.
how it goes. Cause I see another comment on here about using like unique links or something like that. Like, for example, what we talk about in the program, like Metricool, right? Like you can use unique links for UTM links or whatever to be able to track data and stuff through there.
Yeah, if you're doing social content, you can do specific words in ManyChat and then link it to the piece of content, the short form piece of content. This is what we teach our clients too. You could link it to that. And then basically you can take that, link it to it, and then you can see like we got 1,000 hits from this word, right?
Yeah.
And then this word, and that was the video that the word is only on your social media content that you put out for the client. So then you can track that for the client, right?
Yep.
And say, hey, we got this many leads, this many opt-ins for the specific content we created for you. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. But it doesn't always have to be like a hard number. I typically like to just ask the client first and be like, what was the result? What did you see from this? What did that look like? And then they'll tell you. And then like, usually they'll give you a pretty decent result. If you can kind of coax it, be like, hey, what do you feel like really changed for you guys when we did this? And then they'll give you a bigger result for that.
Yeah.
Right? So that's key. What other questions, guys? We got plenty of people on here. What questions do you have around scaling the video business, getting more leads, getting more clients, what to price yourself at, how to build a team, how to go from, 5 to 10K to 100K a month? Like, what do you got? Couple questions. Absolutely, Mikey. Fire those questions away below. And we got 5-6 minutes here before we got to jump off. So I want to get to as many questions as we can. Let's see if we have anything on Instagram. But yeah, did we miss anything there, Ethan?
No, I was tracking ROI, trackable links. Evan, have you tried Bitly at all? Because I've had some other people mention.
I used URL Genius.
Okay, gotcha. Because I know Metricool has the trackable links, but that's also in the paid version.
Yeah. So, well, I use URL Genius because like if you like put it in the your IG bio, it'll open up. Like if I put my YouTube in my IG bio through a URL Genius thing, it'll open up the app. Instead of just opening up like a browser in there, it'll go right into the app. So somebody doesn't have to log in. They can follow me right away. And then URL Genius also tracks data in the back end of it so that we can figure out how many link clicks we got and this, that, and the other, where they came from, what videos they went to, whatever. Almost every YouTube video I make, I put a URL Genius link to it because I share it on my stories. And then I know like who's clicking what and all of that. So.
Yep. Awesome.
Let's see. Brett Hammond, I had a sales call with a client who expressed interest in using my video services to make a video ad for them, but I'm still learning my way through making an ad campaign. Any tips on this? Evan, anything on that?
Watch all the modules. No. No, I mean, it's Brett, it's everything. Well, number one, come to my calls. I'll help you. It's very, very simple to do. And then just depending on the kind of like the back end tech stack, I mean, if it's like, what do they want to do? Do they want more brand awareness? Do they want more leads? What do they want to do? If you want less tech stack, just do Facebook lead form. And then you can have them download the ads manager app, and now it actually pulls all of the leads right to the app. They don't have to like go in and download a thing. It goes right to their phone effectively. I don't think it notifies you when you get a lead, but they all go to your phone. So like that's something that's very easy to do. But again, it just depends on what their ultimate goal is with the ad campaign.
Yep, absolutely. Question over here on Instagram. I'd love to get a coffee shop next to me as a video retainer client. I currently have 0 retainer clients. How should I approach getting them as a client? I wouldn't.
Yep. I was just going to say, I just rewatched your module on niche and stuff like that or whatever.
Oh, really?
This morning. When I was remaking my packaging pricing guide here, and I was just about to say, Eric's going to say don't. So
coffee shops are broke. Don't do it, because think about how much they charge, right?
That's an analogy I give on every onboarding.
What's the average order value of a coffee shop's customer? Let's take a guess, guys.
It's $8. I mean, if you're Starbucks, it's like $8.
Yep, $8-10. Like, it's going to take a lot of.
Think about that versus a lawyer. Like lawyer clients, 5,000-10,000. That's a lot of cups of coffee you got to sell.
Yeah,
to get to 10 grand.
We have a good question from Mikey Pitts. Who would win in the three of you in a triple threat tickle fight? Probably Mikey Pitts over here out of all three of us. And then second place would probably be me. So good question, Mikey. Yeah. If you want to focus more on like scaling your video business questions, hit us up. Tickle fights might be for your personal time.
Maybe he's got a tickle fight business.
I should start a tickle fight business. I love it. As a beginner, how should I price my services? Should I have the standard rate, or should I quote potential clients and work with different budgets? Evan?
Repeat. It's not on the thread, so it came.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at Instagram. As a beginner, how should I price my services? Should I have standard rate, or should I quote potential clients different prices and work with different budgets?
Well, much like we talked about before, you should figure out a list of problems that you can solve through what you have.
Yep.
Create a systemized package around those problems that you solve.
Yep.
And insert the deliverables that solve that problem. And then then you put price points to those think about fulfillment, think about what it takes to be able to do. Don't overcomplicate that process, because I think a lot of us creatives want to have these multi-men teams for shoot days and this, that, and the other. And depending on who the client is and what the actual process needs to be, it might not need to be that complicated. But a small 1 to 2 person team probably gets the job done every single time. Figure out what that would be in terms of deliverability. Pull out all of what it takes to make that happen. Then you're left with what your profit is. And then just how much you're charging. Yep. But create a systemized package around it so that it's predictable every single time, because the custom stuff is just a nightmare to work through.
You need to systematize your offer and make it repeatable and make it easy to do. Because if you got to ask yourself, if I got 100 more clients, would I hate my life, or would I be able to hire people to do the work?
Yeah.
And if you would hate your life, you're probably custom quoting.
Yes.
Would love to get a hotel as a retainer. Yeah, hotels are great. One of our clients closed a $33K 3-month deal with a hotel. So 100% hotels and any sort of like luxury real estate properties, like to get them more clients, create content is always great. I'm going to power through these because I do have to run to a client call in like 2 minutes. How do I get more leads for poster design and thumbnail design? How much should I cost for them? I think they mean charge for that. You have to figure out who you're doing it for. So like, that's not an avatar. Poster design clients, like figure out like who are we serving? Like, is it medical companies? Is it local mom and pop shops? Right. And then what you want to do is like, if you don't have any money for ads, which I would recommend running ads to that market and talking about the pain points that you solve through poster design, not advertising poster design, then you'd go after those people with ads. Or if you can't, just start cold calling, start reaching out, start DMing, start offering them a free trial of your service to then turn them into a case study, to turn them into a client. That's the way I would do that.
I would look at some of Chris Doe's stuff because he does graphic design, right?
Yeah.
Christo is good stuff on graphic design for sure. What would you say about retainers for hotels and resorts? Short form, social media, perhaps 4 videos a month. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of our clients closed a 33K 3-month deal with a hotel, and then did another 33K 3-month deal with a apartment complex. So I would do. It just depends on what problems you're solving through the content, but like short form content, walkthrough videos. Am I missing anything else, guys, that I can think of? Like what else what are our
I mean, the brand overall, so like a brand film.
film. Yeah. Anything there. Like just figuring out like what is the problem? Do they want to get more traffic? Do they have a conversion rate problem? Or do people not trust them? Or is there not enough attention on the business? And then based on that problem, you want to diagnose and give them the right solution and the right content based on that. Right.
Yeah.
So like you just want to figure out what problem are we solving? Because like if I need more traffic, I'm going to create like social media content videos. I'm going to do more like advertising, ads, promos, things like that to drive traffic in. If I'm having trouble converting those people after they get to my webpage or my website, then I'm going to do more like social proof, testimonials, branding content, things like that. Right. That's the biggest thing there. And then what industries do you recommend, Evan or Ethan? You guys want to take?
I'd say medical, health, wellness, fitness, law, home service.
Yep.
Manufacturing.
Service-based businesses that charge
in
high ticket
general,
money above like $2,000, 2,500 is typically, because then you only need a couple of clients to to ROI on your investment or their investment with you, and you can charge higher prices for your video, right?
Yep. And I don't recommend real estate nonprofits or restaurants and like coffee shops.
No, exactly, absolutely not. And then big no to coffee shops. My sister-in-law owns one, only takes home $3,000 a month. Yeah, it's a problem. Like you can't, if you go after broke clients, you will be broke and you will be fighting and working really hard for the same amount of work that you could do for a high ticket client, a rich client, right? Like it is, I know it's something that a lot of people think they know, but burn that into your brain. If you're serving the wrong clients, you will be overworked and broke. Like that's just how it works. Like, because no matter how hard you work or how good of a job you do for a broke client, they still don't have a lot of money and they're not making a lot of money, right? Like you have to go after bigger opportunity vehicles and bigger clients. Like, dude, like I could make a 1-minute video for a coffee shop, or I can make a 1-minute video for a home builder that does custom home builds. Same amount of work on both ones. Which one's going to make them more money and which one can I charge more for?
The home builder.
The home builder, because they charge, maybe $1 million for a home and they take home 300 grand in profit. So I can easily charge 50K for one video if you can get them multiple clients.
Sure.
I could never charge 50K to a coffee shop ever. Like I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger problems, bigger paychecks. Exactly. Is short-term rentals, Airbnbs a good industry? I would ask you, are you going after the owners, like creating content for them to get more Airbnb listings? I would say if it's a luxury Airbnb, yes, because they could charge up to like $2,000 to $3,000 a night, right? So it's very easy. If you can create a listing for them or a video for them that gets them more bookings, and each one is $2,000 to $3,000 a day or a night,
but not the 150, 250 a night. Just
like Juan does that for I don't know if it's for Airbnbs or for real estate agents. He does like FPV fly through.
The drones.
He gets millions of views for these properties. Like
like $30 million.
He definitely does luxury stuff though. Like
you have to do luxury if you're going to go after that.
Yeah,
for sure. Accurate. I've served broke clients for too long. I learned that lesson the hard way. Yeah, it's exhausting, man. Because like you could work just as hard, and like they don't value you. You don't make any money.
Mm-hmm.
You're left like, what did I do wrong? And you like gaslight yourself. You're like, why am I not any good? Like, it's not that you're not good. The client's just broke. Like they literally can't give you 100% of their income for a video. That's what that would be. Like I can't even charge $3,000 for a video to the person who has the sister-in-law with a coffee shop, because that's all they make all month. And they can't give you all of it. Right. So no matter how good the video is or how well it performs, even if it gets them more customers, each customer is only worth $10. It's not that much,
Yep.
So
it's $100 of profit a day.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, I got a jet.
Me too.
Got a jet here. If you want to learn more about what we do, you can go below this video and book a call with our team. If you're on Instagram, you can go to my link in bio and fill out a demo, learn more about how we can help you scale your video business, or you can go to masterfilmmaker.com and we're happy to help you there. If you guys have any questions for us, let us know. We'll be back here next week, and we will be answering any questions you got. See you guys.
Love this